such a good answer. Thank you so much for that.
You see, I'm not so dogmatic over all of these things. You know, these kids will take a comment. They'll say, "Oh, McGill only does a certain kind of exercise," and I was talking about a very specific type of back patient, and now they think I'm working with world-class lifters doing the same thing, and they just go off on these little sound bites, you know.
Right. I read this paper of yours where you talk about the kettlebell swing, and you used several people, and one of them was Pavel, and you mentioned that at the top of the swing, and that's where he does the hardstyle lock, and you noticed that there was a certain degree of lumbar flexion, and you talked about in the same paper a category of people who would get probably an extension pattern stress on the facets. I really don't recall exactly, but my my memory says that you did a study on that, and you came up saying that this certain number of people, or certain types of people, would have a problem doing kettlebell swings. Who are these people? And what exactly was going on when Pavel was locking out at the top of the swing?
Okay, maybe let's talk about the different people, and then we'll finish off with Pavel. That's probably the best order. When you bend down to pick up a heavy load, your spine goes into compression and also shear. In other words, gravity is shearing your rib cage forward on your pelvis. Correct?
Yes.
So the facet joints are built to take anterior shear. That's how your spine is designed. So there is an optimal ratio between compression and shear. So when you lift a load, you have so much compression, a lot more, and a little bit of shear. Now, when you do a kettlebell swing, you start the swing down between your legs, and that's a normal ratio of compression to shear. But as you swing the kettle through up to top center, now the compression goes low and the shear goes high because of the centrifugal force. That's very unusual for the spine. There aren't very many situations where that high shear and low compression occurs. And compression, by the way, stabilizes a joint. If I want to stabilize a shoulder, I suck it together through compression. So now when you look at some, if we take some personal anecdotes, I think in that same paper I used a quote from Brad Gillingham, who I believe just set the record again for raw powerlifting with no gear. And he will tell you that he warms up before his big performances with kettlebell swings, and he credits the swing in curing, at least managing his disc bulge. So that's the good side. And yet there are also a few strong men and women who very powerful lifters, and yet the kettlebell swing irritates their back a little bit. Well, there you go. It's this odd ratio at the top of the swing of shear. So now let's talk about Pavel. So when he swings the kettlebell up through top dead center, you'll see him do I don't know if you can see it here, but a very hard style finish. Yeah. Which, if you're familiar with martial arts at all, that is what we call Okinawan strength. Oh, okay. So the Okinawan karate masters, when they want to create strength, they do exactly that contraction through the hips and core that Pavel does. It's a very powerful strengthening maneuver. So on one hand, it prepares and stiffens the back to take that little working of shear at the top of the swing. But you realize he is a master. I'll brag about him for a little bit. I've measured the core strength of very strong men in the world. He's the strongest pound for pound core I've ever measured in the world, and that says a lot because I've measured all sorts of Olympic champions, and he's at the top of the heap.
Norris?
Pardon?
Is Pavel stronger or Chuck Norris?
Oh, he'd be light years ahead. Now, I never measured Chuck Norris, but I'm positive in terms of core strength. No, he can just pick you up and throw you across the room. I've tried to hold him for normalizing contractions through his core, and I've had 400-pound strongmen who are not don't have the core strength that he has. He's mind blowing.
Yeah, he radiates that quiet strength.
Yes. Have you never met him?
Of course I have. I took my certification under him.
Yes, I thought so.
Yeah.
So you know him. Yeah, no, he's very, very impressive. He's a nice fella, too. He's a good friend.
I just love the fact that he keeps his integrity so high.
Yes.
Right. Okay. One more question about exercises. Do we need more exercises?
Are you the only bariatric surgeon in the world who's ever taken his course? I'll bet you are.
I guess so. I guess so. I would put money and bet on it.
Well, shame on me. I haven't taken it yet. He's invited me a few times.
Yeah,
but,
it's never too late.
Yes.
Right. So you keep
I might be able to be the oldest certified one. I don't know.
That would be a hard ask because there are plenty of old people who go there and turn up. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, very impressive. I mean, hats off to those people.
Yes.
All right. Stu, I'll just take one more question. I'll hope you'll take one more question. What are you working on? Are you trying to develop new exercises to help people with back problems? Do we need new exercises or new technology?
Well, the answer is yeah. We're always working on that. With every patient that we get or every athlete, we'll come across situations where we will customize new exercises and little exercise tools to try and help them. So that process never ends. As I'm sure you're aware, we don't do fancy things. They're usually very simple shifts to quite simple exercises. So there's nothing really high tech, I wouldn't say. Yeah, we're always playing with new concepts and yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you so much for your time, and it was such a fascinating chat.
Yes, myself included. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, how is your training then? I'm assuming you're plying your trade as a surgeon, and then you
yes.
have the Soul of Strength.
Yes, I teach.
I visited your website.
Ah, well,
I visited your website.
All right. I post mostly on Facebook. There's too much to do in 24 hours. So I'm mostly posting on Facebook on the Soul of Strength page and, carrying information like people would be getting from hearing you talk. That is going to be precious. So mostly it's going to be sharing over Facebook and then doing it in real time. We'll have people coming from all over the country and learning here. And they're not learning from me, they're learning from you. I'm merely a small medium.
Yeah, very good. It's BackFit Pro has my book, and they tell me we sell books to India, so someone there is passing the word around.
Yes.
I've never been to India myself, but
why is that black spot in your career? We should eliminate that. You should come.
Yeah, well, one of these days, we have an Asian tour in the fall of 2015, but
Singapore?
it's already done. So yeah, it's China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Sydney, and Melbourne.
Okay.
That's all we've got time for on that trip. But who knows? Maybe another trip. And
okay.
So, where are you located?
In the city of Kolkata. That's formerly Calcutta.
Yeah, so that is on the west coast.
No, east. We are east. We are closer to
Singapore.
Singapore.
I see.
The west coast is Mumbai.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
That's fine. That's fine.
I know people always get mixing me up with Americans, and then that. So I
That must be pretty
apologize. I didn't
galling,
want to
right?
insult you.
All right then. Thank you so much,
Okay.
and I'll send you the link of this interview.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ram. Good luck to you,
Good
sir.
luck. Bye bye.